The sponsored scholarship student claimed to be pregnant with my dad's baby and condescendingly said, "I'll be your stepmother from now on. You'll have to serve me well or I'll kick you out of the house." I was shocked. After all, it's been almost 20 years since my dad died. Seeing my stiff upper lip, the scholarship student was furious and called my dad directly. She wrapped her arms around my dad and said that I was bullying her, but also aggrieved and kneeled down to apologize to me. "Even if you don't like me, but the 3 sons in my stomach are innocent. They can't be without a father." I grunted coldly and nodded my head to accept scholarship student and my dad marriage. But there is one thing that I didn't tell scholarship student. She is only my Livian son-in-law stepdad, not my real dad. I heard that boutique newly came a few bags. Because I am relatively empty. Plus I also like shopping. So I refused the sales associate to send door to let me pick the proposal. Intend to go directly to the boutique. When I arrived at the boutique, familiar sales associate Xiuzhi's expression is difficult to say. She hesitated for a while before speaking. "Su, ms. Su, just now, your stepmother came over. The bag she was looking at. She is now in the VIP lounge waiting for you." I stepmother. I froze for a moment. Where do I come from stepmother? Not waiting for Xiuzhi to continue to speak, the door of VIP lounge was opened, hugely out of a number of people. These people I know, are my university classmates, but we do not know each other well. In addition to the last one, Sharon Smith, the last one out, is my sponsored scholarship student. The others I only know the name only. Sharon Smith changed her previous coy expression and looked at me condescendingly. "I'm your stepmother. The bags you ordered. We're splitting them up as a gift from your stepdaughter. Consider it as a meeting gift from you, your stepdaughter, to me, the stepmother." I gently pinched myself and the pain in my palm told me that this wasn't some weird dream, but a scene that really happened. "Sharon Smith, are you out of your mind? I'm Emily Su who sponsored your schooling, not some stepdaughter of yours. Are you out of your law school mind? There's a psychiatric facility at home. Do you want me to send you to get checked out and see what's going on?" Sharon Smith's face turned red with anger when she saw me say that. But she didn't come over to me. Instead she hid behind those classmates and said loudly, "I've been with your father for more than a year now, and I still have triplets son in my belly, and I'll be married to your father soon. So tell me yourself, what am I if not your stepmother?" I was even more shocked looking at Sharon Smith's serious touch. "Because my dad died of an illness not long after I was born. And my mom has been dead for a few years now. What kind of person is Sharon Smith that she could be pregnant with the child of my dad who died 20 years ago? And it wasn't even a secret. Didn't Sharon Smith know about it?" I was shocked, speechless. Sharon Smith is very pleased. "How? Cannot speak out. Didn't you just say I was crazy in a very bullish way? I advise you to please me as soon as possible, or I will sweep you off your feet when I give birth to the 3 sons in my belly. After all, I'm pregnant with a son. It's completely different from a financial burden like you. Aren't you able to live such an extravagant life now because you're the only daughter of the Su family? When my son is born, your kind of financial burden will have to step aside." The other students also chimed in. "Right. Hurry up and buy the bag and give it to Xiuzhi, so that Xiuzhi can still give you something to live for in the future. And you, quickly hold up all the things that Xiuzhi has just seen and let Emily Su pay for it. Forget it. Just give Xiuzhi your black card. And she can buy whatever she wants." Seeing that the crowd was about to take the black card from my hand, I reacted. "How many years has my dad died? You said you were pregnant with my dad's child. Show me the proof." Sharon Smith heard me say that my dad died, and gave me another output. I was annoyed by her headache. "If you have the ability to directly call my dad directly over here, so that my dad personally to me, as long as he said, not to mention the bag and the card, what I will give you." Sharon Smith was a bit hesitant. but still took out her cell phone and walked to the side to make a call, looked at me smugly and said, "Just wait. Your dad is nearby. He'll be there in half an hour." We went into the VIP lounge together and waited. Not much later, the VIP lounge door was opened. Sharon Smith excitedly called out Uncle Sue. I followed the sound of the past. A dad out of his mouth. 3. Hearing this sound of dad, Sharon Smith even more pleased. She changed the just high and mighty look. The aggrieved babies walked to my father William Johnson's side. "Uncle Sue, you finally came. I and our 3 babies almost won't be able to see you." William Johnson didn't look at me, but instead looked Sharon Smith up and down, and was relieved to see that she was all right. "What the hell happened? Didn't you just tell me that you were going to have a miscarriage if you fell down here?" Sharon Smith's tears came down at once. "It was close. Jingyi found out about us and got so mad at me. If it wasn't for these classmates protecting me, I really wouldn't have been able to see you." Although I guessed Sharon Smith would be bullshitting. Boutique can be full of surveillance. So I frowned. "Just now." But I only said 2 words. Sharon Smith suddenly walked up to me and knelt down heavily. "Jingyi, I know. You look down on people from the mountains like me. Even though you subsidized me, you were just doing it to make everyone think that you're a well-intentioned rich person. You didn't really like me at all. I also know that I'm with your father now. You must think that I'm doing it for money. A gold-digging woman. But no, I'm not with Uncle Sue at all because he's very rich. I'm truly in love with Uncle Sue. Love has no age limit. Please fulfill me and Uncle Sue, even if you hate me. You can't even hate the 3 children in my stomach. They are your younger brothers and will be your dependents in the future." Sharon Smith cried and almost broke. The other classmates were even more furious looking at me. One bite at a time I almost drove Sharon Smith and the children to death. I'm a very educated person, so I tried to restrain my fire. But before I could say anything, William Johnson suddenly pulled me out of the VIP lounge and turned into an empty VIP lounge off to the side. 4. I was a little impatient. How did you and Sharon Smith get together? And why does she say she's my stepmother? And you? Without waiting for me to finish, William Johnson also directly knelt down towards me. "Jingyi, please, don't deny that I'm your father. Okay. Consider it for the sake of your mom and I. Consider it for the sake of how good I've been to you in the past. After all, you called me dad for years too." I did call William Johnson dad, but there was no blood relationship between us. After my real dad passed away, my mom and William Johnson met and fell in love and got married. After marriage, William Johnson was no different to me than he was to his real daughter. After my mom passed away, William Johnson left my house, but we still see each other often. I sighed and helped William Johnson up. "What's going on?" William Johnson lowered his head and was a little embarrassed. "I didn't know at first that Sharon Smith was your sponsored scholarship student, and I didn't think too much of it when she pursued me. But it wasn't long after we got together that she told me she was pregnant with triplets." Although William Johnson is not very old looking, but after all, he is getting up in age. Sharon Smith can't be genuinely fond of William Johnson. The probability is that there was a time when William Johnson came to school to meet me when Sharon Smith met him, so he deliberately seduced. I was afraid that William Johnson would be deceived, but William Johnson took the initiative and said. Later I knew her identity and knew that she was doing it for the money. "But I'm so old and I want my own child. So please don't break me up. At least wait for the child to be born." Okay. I originally wanted to refuse, but I was so good to Sharon Smith, and she betrayed me so much. There was no reason at all for me not to agree, so I nodded and followed William Johnson back to the VIP lounge where Sharon Smith and the others were. "I agree to your marriage." With my yes, Sharon Smith quickly got married to William Johnson with a license. Originally William Johnson is to take Sharon Smith to live in his suburban set of house inside. But Sharon Smith is not happy, although she has always said that she is not for the money and William Johnson together. But she had to live in my mansion. The name of it is in order to liaise with me. But I didn't expect that Sharon Smith would take her duplicity to the extreme after she moved in. And as long as William Johnson wasn't at home, she became very arrogant. Su Jingyi, I am now pregnant with the 3 sons of the Su family. And you are giving me this garbage to perfume me. I said I want shark's fin. What do you mean by cooking me a bowl of vermicelli? Although I used to be your sponsored scholarship student. But now I'm your stepmother. If it wasn't for my kind heart, you would have been kicked out by me a long time ago. But when William Johnson came back from work, Sharon Smith looked like an aggrieved little daughter-in-law, aggrieved and dropping straight to tears. Today I ate a bowl of vermicelli. Although it's a bit small, but Jingyi is right. Eating too much will make you fat. You will definitely dislike me. Anyway, I'm from the mountains. It's good to have something to eat. William Johnson naturally knows that I am not such a person, but in order to make Sharon Smith happy, still will deliberately give me a tantrum, although I am speechless. But also can only cooperate with this they act. Looking at Sharon Smith like this, I just feel speechless. I so sincere treatment of Sharon Smith, for her school, and even planned to let her graduate directly into my family's company, but I did not expect. She is not willing to downtorth upward, only want to social climber via motherhood to marry into the rich family. After a few months like this, I just couldn't take it anymore. I was afraid that I wouldn't be able to hold back the truth before Sharon Smith gave birth. In order to avoid this situation, I had to move to a small mansion near the school to live. 6. I thought I could at least have some peace and quiet after I moved to the neighborhood of the school. But Sharon Smith refused to let me go, and she chased me all the way to the school. Because Sharon Smith and William Johnson after the marriage has not come to school, so everyone saw the big belly Sharon Smith, are shocked. One by one, a mouth-in-mouth asked Sharon Smith when the wedding how not invited everyone and so on. Sharon Smith pointed to me. Some of the yin and yang said Sharon Smith pointed at me and said in a somewhat grim voice, "It's not because of Su Jingyi. I'm her stepmother now, and she said I'm not good enough for her father, so she only allowed me and her father to get a license, but not to have a wedding, although my husband loves me very much. But after all, she's been the only child for the past 20 years, so he must have gone along with her idea. But it's okay. When I give birth to my 3 sons on the day of the full moon, the wedding and the full moon banquet will be held together. After all, we are classmates." Everyone knows that I sponsored Sharon Smith. Who would have thought that the student I sponsored would become my own stepmother? This, no matter how you look at it, is an act of enmity. So one by one, they all started to ask me if this is true. I restrained myself with force, gritted my teeth and said, "Yes, it's true. She did marry my dad." When this was said, the whole room was in an uproar, and seeing that everyone did not talk to each other, but instead looked at themselves with a face of contempt, Sharon Smith's face instantly blackened. "Don't you guys act as if you are touching money as if it were dirt. You guys go to school. You study hard. Isn't it to make money? In order to give your children a good environment in the future. I'm just taking a shortcut that you guys want to take but can't. Might as well tell you, in order for me and my kids to cross the class, I secretly took fertility drugs myself. That's why I have 3 sons at once. Nowadays, this society laughs at the poor. Not to mention, I got married and had children normally. So what do you guys have to laugh at me?" 7. Sharon Smith is already 7 months pregnant. I don't want to get into an argument with her. After all, I've already put up with it for so long. Wouldn't I be putting up with it for nothing by flipping out now? So I sighed heavily and tried to leave without saying a word. However, other students who were familiar with me and had been sponsored by me couldn't stand it, and one by one, they began to accuse Sharon Smith. "You are too disgusting. Jingyi sponsored you so that you could change your fate, but you seduced someone else's father. Isn't this a favor to be returned? Have you ever thought about how you kneeled down to thank Jingyi in the first place? We don't want to go down this road even if we could. We want to change our fate. But we want to do it on our own, not by crawling into bed. If Jingyi's father wasn't rich, would you love him? Really, the scorpion and the frog? Although what everyone said was telling the truth, Sharon Smith still broke her defense. Plus she had been living like a princess in mansion these past few months, so she was furious and pointed at everyone and started to talk back. Let me tell you, my 3 sons will be the heirs to all of the Su family's properties from now on. You useless people can only work for my sons. And you, Su Jingyi. I originally wanted to send you out of the country when my son came out, but now you are deliberately letting everyone scold me like this. When my son is born, I'm going to kick you out of the Su family and let you live on the streets. The words fell to the ground. Suddenly a classmate puzzled and said something not right. Everyone was attracted by his words have looked at him. He frowned and continued. I remember Jingyi's mom and dad died early. She didn't even have a father. How were you able to marry her father and still pregnant with 3 sons? 8. My eyebrows jumped when this was said. In fact, it's not strange for people to know this thing that my mom and dad are gone. After all, my family is also considered to be prestigious in this province. Except for Sharon Smith, a person who only has money in his eyes. Everyone else is probably aware of it. So after this classmate said this, everyone gradually reacted and echoed, saying that Sharon Smith said that she was cheated, saying that she would definitely regret it in the future and so on. Sharon Smith's expression changed as she tugged at me. Su Jingyi, how can you be so disgusting as to curse your own father? You tell these brainwashed bastards. Tell them that your dad and I are married. Tell them about me being your stepmother. I sighed. Since the matter has come to this point, I naturally have no need to hide it. Sharon Smith. In fact, my dad early. Sharon Smith, however, suddenly gave me a slap in the face. Bitch. Am I too good to you? I'm your mom now and this is how you treat me. Is my name something you can call me? I wasn't willing to make things difficult for you. But now that you're deliberately encouraging everyone to bully me, there's no way I'm going to put up with you any longer. If I can kick you out of the mansion, I can remove you from the Su family straight away. You were the only daughter of the Su family before, the proud daughter of heaven. But don't forget, you'll soon have 3 younger brothers, and you'll have nothing left. I was dumbfounded by this slap. No one had dared to do this to me since I was a little girl, so I even forgot what I was going to say. And I rushed at Sharon Smith like a madman. But my classmates around me immediately pulled me back. If it wasn't for my classmates pulling me back, I think I would have beaten up Sharon Smith, who, seeing me like this, got scared and ran away. 9. Because Sharon Smith and the school a mess. The school more a lot of gossip. Say anything. No matter where I go, there are people pointing at me. I didn't get tired of it, and I thought I was in my junior year, so I didn't come back to the school, but went straight to the office. The company said my father left to my mother left to me. I could have just rely on the shares of the dividends for life, but I always feel that I should do it myself, so that my parents in the sky to see will also feel gratified. I just didn't expect that Sharon Smith would come back to me after only 1 week in the company. Looking at Sharon Smith's condescending manner, I only felt a headache, and I regretted that I shouldn't have subsidized Sharon Smith because I was soft-hearted when I watched her being beaten up for resisting marriage. My classmates were right. Sharon Smith is a white-eyed wolf that can't be bred. A snake that is temporarily frozen. I regret even more that I shouldn't have softened my heart and agreed to William Johnson's request to act in the movie. As a result, I can't go back to my home or school now. But it's a good thing that Sharon Smith didn't plan to make a scene today. She just sat on the sofa in my office and said, Su Jingyi, I really underestimated you. I thought that after I slapped you in the face, you would definitely have to find your father to get an eyeful, but I didn't expect that you would just come to the company to hijack my son's estate. I felt a big head and couldn't help but roll my eyes. Sharon Smith. Can you be normal? This is my company. Sharon Smith snorted coldly. It's yours now, yes. But it will only be my son's in the future. You used to be the first heir of the Su family, but in the future my 3 sons will be the heirs. Even if your father likes you more, he can't really give you a financial burden with this billion-dollar family. 10. I was afraid that Sharon Smith was going to do it again, until the security guards and assistants came over. I spoke up. Sharon Smith, you'd better go back. There are some things that you won't believe even if I tell you. You can go back and ask William Johnson yourself. Sharon Smith was furious. You financial burden. How dare you call your own father's name? The assistant didn't hold back. This lady, you were just down there forcing yourself to come up by death. But when you come up, what do you mean by talking nonsense here? Sharon Smith poo-pooed towards the assistant. Don't be a dog eye here. I have 3 of your Mr. Su's sons inside my stomach. And you kissing Su Jingyi's ass right now is going to be the most regrettable thing you've ever done. And you guys. Sharon Smith pointed at the security guards and said, if you can't tell the difference between the big and small kings, what awaits you is to be fired. But I have a kind heart and I climbed up from the bottom myself. So as long as you give me a beating from Su Jingyi right now, not only will I not fire you guys, but I will also give you a raise in your wages. I tiredly rubbed my brow. Forget it. You guys send her out properly. I really don't want to see her. If she comes back next time, don't let her come up here, and if she has to seek death, just call the police. The security guards listened to my words, formed a circle to Sharon Smith surrounded. Step by step to move out, Sharon Smith angry half dead. To the security guards even scratched and scratched. The security guards do not dare to fight back. Dodging. It did not take long to Sharon Smith rushed out of the encirclement. She ran towards me with a red face. But before she got close to me, she tripped over her left foot and fell belly down directly on her right foot. Soon, her lower body was bleeding. Sharon Smith and I were startled. She held her stomach and moaned, crying. Quickly call me an ambulance. If something happens to me, how can you explain to your father, accountable or not? I would have called an ambulance. I don't want to see people die in my office. 11. With my help, Sharon Smith was quickly rushed to the maternity hospital she was admitted to. Because the fall had caused the amniotic fluid to rupture, along with triplets, the doctor didn't treat the baby with birth control, but immediately scheduled a section. After 2 hours of surgery, Sharon Smith and 3 sons were pushed out together. And William Johnson also got the news rushed over. William Johnson looked at the 3 sons. Excited tears are coming down. Sharon Smith looked at me, crying to William Johnson said, Husband, I went to the company today to look for Jingyi. I was going to apologize to her, hoping that she could forgive me and that she could come home so that we could live together as a family. However, she pushed me directly after taking advantage of the fact that no one was there. And if I hadn't called an ambulance myself, I'm afraid it would have been a dead body. I was furious. Sharon Smith. How can you talk such nonsense? You forced me out of my home, caused me to be fingered at school, and came to the office saying something about kicking me out of the Su family. You have yourself to blame for your own premature labor. If you hadn't tried to come at me and hit me, how could you have fallen on your own? Sharon Smith ignored me, probably because she had a son. She felt self-conscious that she didn't need to pretend anymore, so she changed her previous soft and weak touch and gritted her teeth and pulled William Johnson's hand. Husband. I chose to tolerate it before when my son wasn't born, but I can't tolerate it anymore now. If she can do this to me, she can do this to our son. You have to give me a yes today. Do you want me and my son, or do you want this financial burden? William Johnson looked at me, and then at Sharon Smith. He didn't give a direct answer. He instead said, Xiuzhi, our age difference is almost 30 years. Do you really love me or is it because I am Su Jingyi's father? 12. Sharon Smith didn't expect William Johnson to say this and froze for a moment. She gave me a blank look. Are you babbling something to your dad again? Honey, I really love you. You know, my parents didn't like me since I was a kid. They only liked my brother. My classmates ostracized me. Su Jingyi even treated me only as a tool for a good reputation. Only you are different. I only love you. And it doesn't have anything to do with your money. William Johnson sighed. If you really only love me, then why are you treating Jingyi like this? Sharon Smith instinctively thought that I had said something or that I had recorded her words. She blushed even more miserably than she had just done and stammered. Honey, don't listen to that bitch Su Jingyi. If it's audio and video recordings, then it must also be recorded and edited by that bitch Su Jingyi on purpose. No matter what she says. You can't believe it. William Johnson didn't open his mouth. He just looked at Sharon Smith with a blank stare. Sharon Smith instantly became anxious. Su Jingyi, are you dumb? Say something. Even if you don't like me, don't you like your own brother? You're a girl without a brother. You're definitely going to be bullied by others in the future. I'm giving you a brother. This is also a way of repaying the favor. I've lost myself in this. Isn't this enough? I sighed. Sharon Smith. First of all, you yourself can't accept your own brother, calling him a vampire. So why should you think that I would just like a brother? Anne. I glanced at William Johnson. Now that the baby is born, we don't need to be putting on an act, do we? William Johnson nodded and I continued. Also, your son is not my brother. 13. Sharon Smith froze. Su Jingyi, what the hell are you babbling about? Saying that, she didn't know what came to her mind and her eyes lit up. Could it be that you're not the Su family's real daughter? Are you adopted by the Su family? It's not impossible. You don't look anything like your husband. I originally thought you looked like your mom, but on second thought, it's possible that you're not the daughter of the Su family at all. Seeing Sharon Smith getting more and more outrageous, I felt like opening my mouth. Remember last time at school, when everyone was talking about my mom and dad's early death? Sharon Smith HMMD. That wasn't everyone joking. It was true. My dad died back in the year I was born. And the reason I call William Johnson my dad is because he's my stepdad. There is no blood relationship between William Johnson and I. After my mom died, William Johnson and I legally would have no relationship. So you are not my stepmother, your son, much less my brother. Sharon Smith's face went even whiter. That's impossible. What about the company? What about the mansion? What about the money? Is it all yours? I nodded. Yes. I told you that when I funded you. I said that when you graduated from college. I'd get you a job. I'd change your life. And that's because I had the power to do so. It's just that you didn't give me this chance. You chose to take another path. Now your child is also born. In the future, you don't need to go back to my mansion. And don't show up in front of me in the future. I was looking at you being pregnant before. That's why I put up with a lot of things for you. In the future, won't be. After saying that, I ignored Sharon Smith's collapsing groping and directly left the ward. Just before I left and hadn't even made it to the elevator, I heard William Johnson calling for the doctor, saying that Sharon Smith had suddenly hemorrhaged. I just pretended not to hear it and left directly. I thought Sharon Smith and I would never cross paths again after the matter was cleared up, but I didn't expect to receive a call from the police directly 2 months later. The police told me that Sharon Smith had climbed to the top floor of the school and threatened to kill herself if I didn't meet her there. I was taken aback when I got the call and looked at my WeChat messages and text messages to realize that Sharon Smith had sent me hundreds of messages. I casually looked at a few of them, and they were all basically abusive. I hesitated for a while, but eventually asked the driver to drive me back to the school. Just as I arrived at school, I heard Sharon Smith accusing me from the rooftop with a loudspeaker. Su Jingyi was jealous that I was better than her academically, so she pretended to be nice to me and subsidized me to go to school. but behind my back. She intentionally drugged me and sent me to her stepfather's bed. I was violated by her stepfather and had a child. I wanted to call the police. But Su Jingyi said that she was rich and powerful. I couldn't take her down at all. I would rather die than give in. But she directly imprisoned me inside her mansion until I gave birth to my child. Only then did I finally have a chance to be able to escape. But my whole life was ruined by Su Jingyi. I'm now broken. I also gave birth to 3 children. I also had my uterus removed because of Su Jingyi's beating that caused a hemorrhage. I couldn't give birth to So, but she directly disappeared. So I'm going to use my death to let everyone see Su Jingyi's ugly face. Downstairs surrounded a lot of students. There are a lot of people directly holding a cell phone in the filming in the live broadcast. Although the last time Sharon Smith made a mess in the school once, but at that time the presence of junior year students. So now basically not in the school. Some unknown students chirped and began to discuss. It's so tragic. Rich people are disgusting. I know Sharon Smith. She's from the mountains. She's a hard worker. Poor thing. She's ruined for life. If I were her, I'd kill Su Jingyi. It's all her fault. 15. I listened to half a day of bad reviews, and finally came down to the rooftop under the guidance of the police, because Sharon Smith forced me to die. So the police chose to leave after bringing me up, and only Sharon Smith and I were left on the huge rooftop. I put on the safety rope and walked to the side of Sharon Smith, frowning. What the hell do you want? It was obviously you who thought William Johnson was my father, deliberately seduced him, and gave birth to triplets on fertility drugs yourself. So why are you throwing dirt on me now? Sharon Smith laughed. You're right. I'm the one who purposely seduced William Johnson. I just can't stand to see what gives you all that money. And all I can do is wag my tail in front of you and wait for your $3,000 a month grant. I'm just going to take everything away from you. But so what? I know very well that you don't have audio or video recordings and William Johnson can't possibly testify on your behalf. Even if what I say is false, no one will believe you. People will just believe a poor scholarship student. There's no way they'll believe a rich guy like you. I sighed. How can you be like this when I'm kindly sponsoring you? You clearly weren't like this in the first place. Sharon Smith impatiently interrupted me. In the beginning, that was all just me pretending. If I didn't pretend, could you have funded me? But I didn't expect you to be so stingy. You're worth hundreds of millions of dollars. Yet you only gave me $3,000. What's $3,000 enough for? You can't even buy a pair of shoes or a good cell phone. So I purposely stalked you and seduced your dad. But who knows? That's actually Olivia's son-in-law stepdad. He has nothing. He's not even as rich as my lickspittles. It's all your responsibility. You have to pay for it. With some impatience I interrupted Sharon Smith's long rant. Stop it. Just say it. What do you want? I know you can't really kill yourself. 16. Sharon Smith sneered. I want money. You give me $100 million. As soon as you give me $100 million, I'll explain it away for you. Say it was all my fault. Say I'm mentally ill. I hmmed. And if I don't give it, I'll jump. There's an air cushion down there anyway. I can't die from the fall. They'll just pretend to be playing with a jumper. Anyway, rich people like you don't have any idea what poor people like me will do for money. I laughed. Guess so. You can seduce William Johnson for money. What else can't you do? Maybe my expression was too despicable. Sharon Smith got angry. You're not qualified to talk about me. It's all your responsibility. It's you who's too stingy. And you started to tell me that your dad is dead without showing any evidence to prove it. If you show me the evidence to prove it, how could I possibly come to this point? I knew there was no point in saying any more to Sharon Smith, so I just shrugged. I'm not going to pay the money, and this is a building I'd advise you not to jump from, but I can't help it if you have to pick it. Sharon Smith froze. Do you realize that if I jump you're done for? You'll be ruined. You'll be cyber-violated. And you might even be killed for those angry idiots. Aren't you afraid? I said with a smile while walking towards the rooftop exit. I'm not afraid. Evil doesn't prevail. Why should I be afraid of you? Sharon Smith saw that I didn't look like I was joking but didn't dare to speak up for fear of being heard by the students downstairs. Seeing that I was already almost at the door, she couldn't hold back any longer and jumped directly through gritted teeth. Accompanied by the screams of the students downstairs and a thud, Sharon Smith straight down on the air cushion fainted. And in a flash, a sky of curses flew towards me. 17. Sharon Smith woke up in the hospital with only me by her side. She was a little smug when she saw me. Oh, didn't you just say it was awesome? Why are you waiting here for me to wake up again? Is it because you're now being stormed by the entire internet and your company's stock price has plummeted? So you've come to beg me for clarification. I'm telling you, I can help you clarify. But the price has now doubled. I don't just want 100 million, I now want 200 million. Not even 1 point less. If you don't give it, then it'll just keep jumping. The firemen will save me down anyway. Even if you don't give the money, people will look at me as poor and donate money to me. I don't need to worry at all. Seeing how obsessed Sharon Smith was, I sighed. The reason I'm here is to talk to you after you wake up about what happened during your coma. You're the one who's in disgrace right now. Afraid that Sharon Smith wouldn't believe me. While I said that, I took out my own phone and flipped out the video of Sharon Smith jumping out of a building to show her. And as I said, the following were full of bad comments. Heh heh, people like that deserve to die. Next time the firefighters shouldn't have saved her. They should have let her fall into the mud. Su Jingyi is so miserable, raising a white-eyed wolf, but it's good that she wasn't threatened. Oh. Sharon Smith is almost going crazy. This must be fake. What the hell did you do? How is it possible? Could it be that William Johnson testified for you? I shook my head. You're right. There's no way William Johnson could have testified for me. He couldn't wait for you to go crazy. Don't you know that? He's already got a lawyer suing you for divorce. And with your behavior today, none of those 3 sons will be awarded to you. You'll get nothing. How did this happen? How did this happen? What the hell happened while I was in a coma? Even if you're rich, you can't buy everyone. 18. Looking at Sharon Smith's lunatic-like groping, I didn't continue to sell the story. I directly played a recording. It was the conversation between Sharon Smith and I on the rooftop. Sharon Smith listened. Her face was black and scary. I smiled and turned off the recording. During your pregnancy, you went all kinds of crazy to set me up. It's true that I didn't leave any evidence behind. But as soon as I heard that you were going to jump off a building, I knew that there was no way that you really wanted to die at all, and that you did it on purpose. So in between going, I purposely bought a few high-grade tape recorders, and recorded all of our voices. After you jumped, everyone went crazy and surrounded me. I played this recording for everyone to listen to, so everyone naturally believed it. With these recordings, those words of yours that turned black and white upside down are simply meaningless. Sharon Smith completely collapsed, screaming like crazy in the hospital room and mouthing off about killing me. I got up straight away and left the ward, escorted by bodyguards. I felt somewhat emotional. In fact, although William Johnson is not a rich man, but also not poor, if Sharon Smith can put her feet on the ground and live well, the days can also be lived. But what she wants is not well off, is rich, so simply cannot accept. Sharon Smith, behind some crazy, has been saying that he is Sue Enterprise's wife, and said that his 3 sons are the reincarnation of the gods. And finally was directly by William Johnson sent into the psychiatric facility. Because of Sharon Smith's farce, William Johnson also felt ashamed, so sold his few properties, with 3 children directly out of the country. Without William Johnson, Sharon Smith's estimated life from the psychiatric facility out of the way. But this has nothing to do with me. I have given her too many chances. End.